The village of Eldermoor sat nestled in a forgotten corner of the world, where the sun seemed reluctant to linger. Its cobblestone streets wound through ancient oaks, their gnarled branches clawing at the sky. The villagers spoke in hushed tones of the old manor on the hill, its silhouette a jagged scar against the twilight. No one had lived there for decades, not since the last of the Blackwood family vanished without a trace. Yet, every night, faint lights flickered in its windows, and whispers in human, guttural drifted down to the village below. Clara, a journalist with a penchant for unraveling mysteries, arrived in Eldermoor on a chilly October evening. She'd heard the stories, disappearances, strange noises, and a local legend about the whispering shadows, entities said to haunt the manor, feeding on fear. Clara didn't believe in ghosts, but she believed in stories, and Eldermoor's was too good to pass up. Armed with her notebook, a flashlight, and a skeptical smirk, she checked into the village's only inn and announced her plan to spend a night in the manor. The innkeeper, a wiry man named Amos, with eyes like chipped flint, tried to dissuade her. "You don't understand, miss," he said, his voice trembling. "It's not just stories. People go up there, and they don't come back. Not the same, anyway." Clara waved off his warnings, chalking them up to rural superstition. She'd faced worse war zones, corrupt officials, even a stalker or two. A creepy old house didn't scare her. As dusk fell, Clara hiked up the hill, the manor looming larger with every step. Its windows were black voids, and the air grew colder, heavier, as if the house itself exhaled dread. The front door, warped and splintered, creaked open at her touch, revealing a cavernous foyer coated in dust. Her flashlight beam danced across faded portraits, their subjects' eyes seeming to follow her. The air smelled of mildew and something sharper, like rusted iron. She began her exploration, jotting notes about the manor's decarroting floorboards, shattered chandeliers, and strange claw marks gouged into the walls. In the library, she found a journal, its leather cover cracked with age. It belonged to Eleanor Blackwood, the last resident, dated 1893. The entries started innocently, detailing daily life, but grew increasingly erratic. "The shadows speak," Eleanor wrote. "They know my name. They want me to join them." The final page was a single scrawled sentence. "They are inside me now." Clara's smirk faltered. The house was silent, but the silence felt alive, pressing against her ears. Then she heard Ita whisper, faint and unintelligible, slithering from the darkness. She spun around, her flashlight catching only cobwebs. "Hello," she called, her voice echoing. No response, but the whispers grew, overlapping like a chorus of snakes. She checked her recorder. It was on, but the display showed static, as if something interfered with the signal. She pressed deeper into the manor, her footsteps unnervingly loud. In the dining hall, a massive table was set for a feast that never happened, the plates covered in mold. The whispers intensified, forming words she couldn't quite grasp. Her name, perhaps. Her heart thudded, but she shook it off. "Get a grip, Clara," she muttered. "It's just the wind." Upstairs, the air grew colder still. In a bedroom, she found a mirror, its surface clouded but oddly reflective. She leaned closer, and her breath caught. Her reflection wasn't right. It moved a fraction slower, its eyes darker, its smile too wide. She stumbled back, and the reflection lingered, watching her. The whispers surged, now a cacophony, and the mirror cracked, shards falling like rain. Clara ran, her flashlight flickering. The hallway seemed to stretch, doors multiplying on either side. She burst into a study, slamming the door behind her. Piles of papers littered the room, covered in frantic sketches of eyeless faces and spiraling symbols. The whispers were louder now, inside her head, urging her to look. Against her better judgment, she turned to a painting on the wall, a portrait of the Blackwood family, their faces serene but wrong, their eyes hollow pits. The room darkened, her flashlight dying completely. The whispers became screams, and something moved in the shadows, tall, formless, with too many limbs. Clara's scream lodged in her throat as the thing lunged, its touch like ice and fire. She bolted, tripping down the stairs, the manor twisting around her. Doors slammed shut. Walls pulsed like living flesh. The thing was everywhere, its whispers now a command. "Stay." She reached the foyer, the front door in sight, but it wouldn't budge. The shadows thickened, coiling around her legs, her arms, her mind. Memories flashed: her childhood, her failures, her fears each one twisted, magnified, suffocating. The thing spoke her name, its voice 1,000 voices, promising eternity if she'd only surrender. With a desperate cry, Clara smashed a window with a candelabrum and dove through, glass cutting her skin. She ran down the hill, not looking back, the whispers fading but never stopping. She stumbled into the village at dawn, bloodied and incoherent, collapsing at the inn. Amos and the villagers stared, their faces pale. "You saw them," Amos whispered. "The shadows." Clara left Eldermoor that day, but the whispers followed. At night, they crept into her dreams, showing her the manor, the mirror, the thing. Her recordings from that night were blank, her notes illegible. She tried to write her story, but her hands shook, and her reflection in every mirror was never quite right. Months later, she returned to Eldermoor, unable to resist the pull. The villagers said she walked up the hill, her eyes vacant, and vanished into the manor. The manor still stands, its lights flickering, its whispers calling. The villagers avoid it, but strangers come, drawn by the stories, and the shadows wait, patient and hungry, for those foolish enough to listen.